Russia continues to attack Ukraine with Iranian kamikaze drones. On October 17th, a series of explosions occurred in Kiev alone. 5 strikes were confirmed, 5 people were killed. On October 17th, EU foreign ministers discussed a new package of sanctions against Russia and support for Ukraine. EU ministers also warned Iran of possible sanctions for its involvement in Russia's war against Ukraine. The European Union announced that they are now collecting evidence on the use of Iranian drones by Russia, and when it is completed, the EU will be ready to respond. Until then, the European Union has approved sanctions against Iran's morality police and minister after the death of a young girl and mass protests.
Iranian drones are used apparently to attack in the middle of Kiev. This is an atrocity we need to address. We see that Iran itself, the leadership in Iran, are cracking down on its own population in a way that is inhuman and against all norms and rules, and we should react strongly to that.
The European service, the competent services that we have, are now analyzing this precisely. So we have no confirmation at this moment, absolute confirmation that this is the case. And I think also for the credibility we still have to wait for this analysis.
However, Iran continues to deny that it supplied Russia with kamikaze drones, in particular Shahid 136, which the Russian Federation uses to attack Ukraine.
The Islamic Republic of Iran is not on any side of the war between Russia and Ukraine. The Islamic Republic of Iran has not exported any weapon to any side of the war.
Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine Dmytro Kuleba urged his colleagues to immediately apply sanctions against Iran. He stressed that these restrictions should be a signal to the countries which Russia is asking for military assistance.
We have been hearing different explanations and different arguments for a very long time, but you will not hide the truth, and that truth flew into the homes of the city of Kyiv today. So the time has come to impose sanctions against Iran for supplying weapons to the Russian Federation.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs of Latvia, Edgars Rinkēvičs, said that the 9th package of anti-Russian sanctions may include confiscation of frozen Russian assets and creation of a special tribunal for Russian war crimes. Rinkēvičs also called on his colleagues to be ready to impose new sanctions on Belarus if Lukashenko becomes more actively involved in Russia's war against Ukraine.
Lukashenko is already at war with Ukraine by allowing Russians to use its territory to attack Ukraine. If Belarusian army is directly involved in the aggression, then we must hit Minsk with more sanctions and international isolation. Most important, more weapons for Ukraine. Edgars Rinkēvičs, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Latvia, on Twitter.
Ukraine expects that the 9th package will include disconnecting Russian banks from the SWIFT system, limiting the price or banning the gas exports, prohibiting ships from entering Russian ports, and denying visas to Russians.
We were thankful for the 8th package, but we are already working on the 9th package, which should contain everything that was not included in the 8th and previous packages. All Russian and Belarusian banks, especially Gazprom Bank, are still not disconnected from SWIFT. Igor Zhovkva, deputy head of the Office of the President of Ukraine, on air of the All-Ukrainian Telephone.
The United States and the United Kingdom, meanwhile, have agreed on strengthened cooperation in the implementation of sanctions against Russia. This was reported by the Financial Times with reference to the text of a joint statement of the two countries. Additionally, the European Union ministers decided to allocate another tranche of military aid of €500 million for Ukraine and to deploy a training mission for the armed forces of Ukraine. The head of the EU diplomacy, Josep Borrell, noted that the European Union will continue to support Ukraine as long as it is necessary. Reported by Roman Smoler, Victoria Sinko, UATV News.